Alright, how's it hanging, y'all? Welcome to the second Smilers Sitdown. Before we get to the podcast, I'm going to fill you in with some updates. It's going to be much quicker than last time, so don't worry. If you do want to skip it though, go to the time frame on the screen. Otherwise, stick around. Touch on contract, they have OD this weekend, so make sure to tune into that if there's a stream. And crazy enough, Grape has been signed to contract, so congrats, bro. Moving over to Smilers University, they finished the regular season 5-5. They're now officially in the playoffs, playing in the semis against Bench Gang. It'll probably be streamed, so show them some love. If you want to learn more about that, go to the Toku server, you can get filled in there. Moving over to Contract Valorant, or Alex Jones. We rolled through our past 3 games, beating Crusader Esports, One Tick Wonders, and Chrome's K-pop stands. We picked up a very familiar face in Chicken. We also picked up Epps as a part-time coach. Our next match is today, August 15th, so make sure to tune into that if it's streamed. We're looking pretty promising as a team, so make sure to check in our games. Thanks for supporting. Heading on over to Powerhouse. Former player One Punch Man commented on a YouTube video about Powerhouse. Now talking about commitment. They won their first game last night. Another one is tomorrow. Also, make sure to watch the commitment montage. Now talking about the server, not much has changed, but let's talk about the tournaments for a second. We had the 3v3 payload tournament, and we really liked hosting that. It was a great success, so maybe see that coming up in the future. And thing on everyone's minds, next week there's a Lucio Ball tournament, so definitely be ready for that. That's just about it for the updates. Make sure to stick around for our weekly segment and the podcast featured later in the video. Alright, today, for the Smilers podcast, we're gonna have a 1v1 between Ford with 20 cents and Armaan with normal cents. So, this is gonna be very interesting. First round coming up on Zen. Let's see. Ford is... Yeah, this is sad. If Ford loses, then we can all make fun of him for losing to Armaan. But if Armaan loses, we can make fun of him for losing to Ford with just so high cents. There's some action going on here, over by the staircase. Let's see if Armaan has not shot one shot at all. I don't think he plays Zen very much, which would be a good explanation. Gets the Discord on him, that is massive. He knows where he is through the wall now. Let's do a first person view of Armaan here. He lost the Discord because of the LOS. Let's see. Armaan does not realize that he went up the stairs. So this is going to be really big because Ford over here could get the jump on him. Oh, they see each other at the same time. This is big. Oh! Just
damn!
Barely moving his mouse. Moving his mouse a nanometer.
That was lucky.
He gets the shot. Round 1 goes to Ford. This is a first to 5. I'm pretty sure. So, see this going? Now it's Anna. And Ford has such high sense. He said to me earlier that any hit scan hero is just going to be so hard for him to use. So we'll see how this goes. Ford taking a very aggro approach. I like this. Very smart. Tries to get the sleep dart off because if they're sleeping, you know, they're not moving. No, nothing to track. Very smart by Ford, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's working. Armaan is not healing. Very interesting. You can kind of tell the sense that Ford has there with the sleep dart. Goes super wide left. They're both at around even HP. Both 2 shots. Armaan really needs to be fucking going for the sleep dart. Alright. Ooh, both get 1 shot. Oh, Armaan barely. The strafe of the century.
There we go.
Ford.
It's so really bad.
Ford is just getting too confused.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Oh, Widow. Once again, a hit scan hero. Let's watch Ford for the comedy view. For the comedy view. Main tank aim already, but his sense being up just cannot help that. Let's see. Oh, he goes for the shot. You can just tell that he is struggling. Every micro movement he does is just overshooting it. Really unfortunate. Armaan, Ford hears the drop there. And Armaan almost as blind as Ford with 100 cents.
Can't see anything.
Wow. This is a very even fight, you know, because Armaan, even though he has his normal sense, he's not the most talented player in the world. Ooh. Oh, the SMG. Armaan is I've lost most of my respect for Armaan already.
That was a necessary action.
That just makes it go down
Okay,
even more.
you have a
That is
chance here.
just- That is just a little smack talk coming in between the rounds there. I like it. Reaper, maybe Ford can have more of a chance on this one, you know. Doesn't have to be as precise, you know, not one shot, sort of thing. Ooh, really good drop. Oh my
Fuck.
God, Ford
I thought
nearly
I
flawlesses
fucking-
Armaan. That is just
Whatever it's
crazy.
called.
If Ford
Ability.
can keep getting these heroes, he'll just keep winning. Honestly, this is gonna be a tough matchup. For Ford though. Soldier being a
I'm
hit scan
coming.
hero. Oh, Ford says he's coming. Is he really? Yeah, this is tough. You can see him aiming. It's just overshooting everything. The rocket.
Boy,
I think Ford's win condition here is if he goes really aggro with his rocket and lands it, because I think he can get 3 or 4 shots off, right? But he just can't get all of them. This healing is gonna be so crucial because I mean Ford has taken probably triple the damage that Armaan has already. Ooh, no healing on cooldown. Wait, Ford can win this if Ford drops.
Yeah.
Oh, Ford!
Damn.
Even with no
Simple
aim.
things like turning corners and like strafing back and forth have become exceeding difficult.
Yeah, exactly what Ford said. I mean, you can see that.
Alright.
Watching him, you can totally see
Does
that.
he know
Beth.
what? Does
Okay,
he know what to do, Chad?
okay. Let's see if Armaan understands the basics here. Oh, Armaan messed up his orb. That is absolutely detrimental. Yep, no. That is
That
really
is
a
not
flawless
good.
round for Fordle there because
If
what
they
happened
keep giving
there
me these
is-
no aim heroes, we're gonna get out of here pretty quick.
Little smack talk coming in there from Ford. You love to see it. Armaan messed up there. He threw his damage orb.
Well,
It
it's
didn't
fucking
land
match
very
point
much.
down.
Oh,
Oh,
my
man.
sense is different for this one. It's lower than I even normally play on. Oh no,
Oh,
this
a
is
little
so
different-
cursed. I
a little
can't
different
move my
challenge
camera
for-
halfway. No.
He has his BAP aim chain or his BAP
Sayun,
already
why
changed.
did you override that?
Sayun. Sayun, if you're watching this, I don't even know what to tell you at this point. Ford is not hitting a shot. Ford is hitting less shots than he would on high aim. I wonder, you know, I really want to know how low Sayun's sensitivity is because it really looks silly, honestly. Just a total stalemate here. Ford taking more damage. He has his heal on cooldown. What's Armaan's cooldown? Oh! The melee
Half
to
a second,
win
I
it.
would have got my fucking.
Ford taking
we're
him
back.
down. Armaan only getting a couple dubs there. It's a little surprising as Ford had nearly quadruple
Yeah.
times his sense. Alright,
That was close, though.
welcome to the
Oh,
second
fuck.
match. Right now Armaan is
Damn.
up Armaan is up 1-0. We're starting off with the Sombrito.
Oh wait, are we saying no invis or what's the jig?
Sombrito.
Oh, yeah, no invis, no invis.
Done this? Okay, they're making some deals here, respectable. Oh, what am I watching? What am I watching? Ford
I'm not
has.
gonna lie, I thought you guys had it set so I couldn't do damage to Armaan. Oh, what you
Ford-
trying to hack me out of?
Ford making some jokes there.
Wait, I thought I killed you.
Let's see. Ooh, it's so close right now.
Fuck.
Oh my God!
Damn.
Ford starts
Oh,
out.
yeah, you
with
can
the,
see me, can't you?
Ford starts out with the easy dub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I'm the
was
same
closer than
I know, I know.
Let's see, Ford. We saw how drastic the sense changes are for Ford there. He was fucking having a party on Armaan's body there. Jesus. Let's see. Goes up. Misses dynamite. Armaan. It's funny.
Damn.
Armaan has his normal sense and he's getting mopped. This is really surprising. I mean, it's not even close.
That happened.
Or the first round was close, but I mean that was nearly a flawless. Maybe it was. I wasn't paying full attention there. You know how it is. All right, round 3 coming out on the Echo.
Yeah.
Oh, already
that's
get some
it.
chip damage. Ford, I think Ford's knowledge of the game makes it so that it just doesn't even matter like what Armaan is like how good his aim is or how bad Ford's aim is, right? It's just it's all about game
sure.
sense here. Like on that
Damn,
first
I
map.
would just missed all my shots there. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
On that first map,
Yeah.
on
That's-
Soldier, like Ford took the
Is
high
how it
ground.
works in one.
Ford took the high ground, dropped when he was low, got the dub. I mean, it's game sense at this point for Ford. Alright, let's see the funny tracking. Then ring around the Rosie here. Oh, Armaan! Fucking legend. Let's
There
see
we
it.
go.
Drops the heal.
There we go.
At Minds a Dub in the chat. Mad respect.
Uh-oh.
Genji's here. Okay,
High
so
sense Genji.
here's the win condition for Ford. If he can hit his dashes, it's gonna be good. But his sense is so high, I don't even think. Or he might miss at least one of them. Ooh. Armaan is just not going for him. There he is. Oh, Ford dropping dangerously low. He's gotta finish this up real fast.
Flash him
Oh,
with
Armaan
I shouldn't lose
gets
those.
the second round. You are right, Armaan. You
Alright,
should not
alright.
lose
You're
this.
trying to bring it back, huh? I'm gonna put
Ooh,
an
on
end
the
to
Hanzo.
all that nonsense right now.
With the Hanzo? Ooh, that's.
The Squirrel Ben character.
Coming out on the Squirrel Ven.
Only thing is, you ain't no Squirrel Ben.
Yeah, that's true, Armaan. Ford he's really just trying to get lucky here, I think. I mean, if you look at
Ain't no way.
that's embarrassing.
Nuh-uh.
How Fordle
Not with the
plays
Squirrel Ben
Overwatch.
character.
I mean, that's what feels bad for him. Ooh, Widow. So I think if Ford can take this, he'll get momentum and win the next one. I think whoever wins this will win the game. Just because they'll have the momentum on their side. Armaan is on a roll recently. Armaan can't slow peek. That is the one thing he cannot do. Armaan doesn't think it. Oh! Oh! Ford gets the shot though. It's not a full charge. He can't body to kill him. That's really big for Armaan.
What the fuck?
Oh, Armaan! The slight
I
little
turned my
flick.
camera so far I did a 360.
The
That's
slight
harsh,
little
that's
flick
harsh.
from Armaan. Something that Ford can
This
never
is-
dream
this is
of
gonna be
doing
interesting, yeah.
with the sense. Hog coming out. I think Ford can actually win this one just because he knows, don't hook first, wait till heals, that sort of thing. Oh, he's going for the hook off the map. This is smart from Ford. This is really his only shot. Oh, but his sense, he tries to flick for it. He forgot that he just can't aim at all. Let's see Armaan here. Armaan could be going for the same thing, honestly. Oh! What? The glitch? Oh, it's so close! It's so close! They're both one. They both heal up. This could go either direction. They both have hook online. Ford misses! Ford misses! Armaan!
What are you
If
doing?
Armaan
If
Armaan went for the shot there, he wins.
Damn.
That's
Damn.
where the game sense comes in, because
Oh.
When you try to fucking hit me off the edge or hug me off the edge, you did a 360 and you got me back on fucking land.
You were never over the edge though.
No, I was.
Really?
Ford already dropping low. Armaan, all he can do is freeze now. Wait, who's he gonna go to? Oh!
Fuck.
Oh!
I had to really put it
Armaan!
Damn.
5-4 dub on the second
Yeah.
map.
I won one game. I'm happy.
Wow.
I'm happy.
That is
Alright,
crazy.
there's quality.
Alright, let's go to the third map here.
So what's his sense at? Is it staying at 20?
Yeah. It's at 20 now.
Yes.
So basically you just can't let me get that momentum.
Alright,
I think I got the best hero for
back in game 3.
With this one, I just need to keep my distance and that'll be good.
Starting off with May. Ford is probably right. This is one of the best heroes he can get. But Armaan, as long as he stays afar, he doesn't get frozen, he'll probably be good here. Ford needs to reload here. If Ford didn't have to reload there, that could have been an easy exit already. Let's see, uses wall. Armaan is really low, yeah. But he heals up. This is gonna let Ford get a really good position on him. They're the same HP right now. Oh, Ford gets a headshot. That is massive. Yeah. Armaan is playing this right. He's running. He has to play safe here. Oh, Ford
Yes,
goes in
sir.
with the sneaker play. Damn. Okay, that's a 1-0 start in favor of Fordle. Ooh, Ash now. Ford is gonna have a tough time on this one, just because it's hit scan. There's 20 cents. Armaan can be jumping everywhere. Armaan just got a headshot out of nowhere.
Oh my
god!
Should I just beat on 20 cents?
What the
Damn.
heck? Okay, so Ford normally is a diamond DPS, but with 20 cents
Oh, this is
on,
gonna be
he's looking
ugly.
like at least master.
20 cents echo? Oh no.
This is gonna be gas. Alright, let's see. Ford is just, I don't even know where he's aiming. Oh, wait, no way, Armaan got down to half so soon.
Fuck.
Alright,
Wow.
Armaan, you gotta at least pretend like you're.
It's,
No
back on the
way.
map. Remember what happened last time? Same at is so low. Oh, bro, there's no way. It's a 2. I think Ford's normal sense is 6, and he has BAP on 4. Except this is really embarrassing for Armaan.
What?
He didn't even use heal. Armaan did not even use heal.
Damn, I'm really
Armaan
dumb.
might as well
That
have
was so
gotten
dumb.
flawless there. That is just super embarrassing.
Oh god.
Now
I'm a very bad
last
far,
time I
so-
saw Armaan on fire.
Actually, I'm just very bad at everything in general.
Rip Armaan. Last time I saw Armaan on fire, he didn't know how to stay in the air forever, and apparently he still doesn't. Oh, the flawless dub! I thought, wow, I did not think that would end that way. Armaan, do you think Armaan can come back from this? Oh,
Okay,
on
okay.
Widow. This is winnable for Armaan. This is winnable for
I
Armaan.
see.
Let's see. As long as the magic doesn't come through again, like on Ash. Oh, Ford sense is just absurd. Oh my god! Armaan does the one thing he shouldn't. He peeks slowly.
Ain't no way.
Oh, rip. Rip the
You
dream.
kind of peaked me. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Could not have said it better than Ford right there.
Yo. At least I got
Armaan gets to
plus,
play
so.
the game, so who's the real
Happy.
winner? Who is the real winner? Alright, well, that's your victor for this week's
That was really unlucky.
a 1v1 between Ford with 20 cents and Armaan with normal cents. Closer match than anticipated. Now let's head over to the podcast. Alright, welcome to the second week of the Smilers Sitdown. I'm your host Stewie. I'm here with my co-host Ben.
Hey.
I'm here with 2 guests, the main one being Pigeon.
Oh. What's up, guys?
And
Why are you laughing?
oh, nothing, bro, nothing. And then I'm also here with Grape Cake or Mine OW.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Grape. How's it going?
It's going pretty good, Grape. It's going pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna start this off with a couple questions for Pigeon, and then we're gonna move on with some questions for everyone.
Yo, what's up, guys? What are you laughing at?
Alright, Ben, wanna start the questions?
Oh, sure. So start us off by telling us who you are.
My name is the Pigeon. I am an Overwatch off-tank 3700 Mexican superstar. I am also a very famous businessman, as I was one of the first people to invest in the Dow Jones Company back in 1999 after my brutal assault of 4 women. Don't quote me on that. I'll get canceled in 2 weeks. And besides that, I am now living in crippling fear that my heterosexuality will be the death of me. Thank you, guys. What's up?
That's great to hear.
That was
All right.
really great. That was really great. Alright, so we know you're pretty famed at Overwatch, you know? As you said, 3700 main or off tank. So, what is your favorite character to play within each role, and why?
Within each role, like
Each
in
role.
Overwatch?
Yeah. So DPS, tank, and support.
Okay. So I would say my favorite off tank to play is probably Roadhog, and because mostly Roadhog is, Chad-like presence, and you could just play him like I don't know how to say this, but when I started playing Roadhog, I played him like a DPS almost, and I kind of just grew, and the more I played the game, the more I played Roadhog, and then the more I just got to accustomed to Roadhog, and I just like everything about his kit, really how you could disjoint people. Kind of sucks that he's an ass character now, but it was just really fun to play Roadhog, and it still is really fun to play Roadhog, and you can just get those crazy picks with those crazy hooks. For DPS, Doomfist, I think he's my favorite character in the game. I just like his kit. It's very unconventional to like Overwatch and FPSs and stuff like that. Really like his punch, his combos, everything you can do with him. He's very underutilized right now. He was really overutilized beforehand, but when he is in meta, I really like the meta. And as much people hate him, I really like him, like all of his kits. Support, I'm probably gonna get canceled for this, but I like to play Brig.
What the fuck?
Brig just is weird. Yeah,
I kind of like Brig as well.
Brig's fun to
Brig-
play. Brig
I
is fun
just-
to play.
Brig, I liked her a lot in Goats meta because she kind of, for me, I played her really aggro and I really liked that. And I just don't really like a lot of the supports in the game. I'm just not that good at supporting. So I just like Brig because she's just like, for like a person that doesn't play support, it's really easy to play her and you don't feel like you're doing ass with her. So, and you also feel like you have an impact compared to playing like Mercy or whatever. So thanks for nodding.
I'm with that, yeah.
Am I allowed to comment on what Pigeon said, or?
Yes.
You can if you
Uh-huh.
want.
Yeah, so like Pigeon, as you were saying, like I feel like for a lot of people in these low ranks for support, I feel like it's very one-dimensional how they play. Like for a lot of people, it's just mainly healing, and you kind of hear this term go around a lot. It's like Lucio's only heal. But I feel like once you hit those high levels, getting the fundamentals out and actually make these supports more fun, right? And probably the biggest example of this was with Ana. I know for a lot of people, like probably below Diamond, they just see Ana as a heal bot, but like utilizing her sleep, utilizing her damage, and just making a balance of both healing and damage is what separates her from a lot of other supports, right? Because unlike Zen, where it's only pure damage, she do very little healing, Ana has like 2 kits pretty much with herself, right? She can do healing, she can do damage, and she also has that like ability to shut down big ult. So like, yeah, for a lot of people, healing support is a really boring kit, but I think there are some supports that actually take a lot of mechanical skill to play and can be fun when utilized to its fullest potential.
Yeah, I'm with Grape
Yeah.
because like for me, Ana is by far my favorite support.
She's so fun to play.
Yeah, I really like because first of all, like the sniping, because you can do close range no scopes for heals and stuff, and then you fucking massive amounts of damage. My favorite part of playing Ana is the nade possibilities. And on Powerhouse I did this a lot because it was like Ana and then Ryan Zar could be played. So like whenever I could get in on a scrim, I would always do like these crazy like flank nades on Gavant's grabs and stuff, and it was just so fun to do. So
Yeah. Commenting on what you said, Stu, I feel like Ana is probably the most like one of the best character designs in the game for support, I would say. Because unlike Batiste, Ana has counterplay, right? And this is what a lot of people want in Overwatch, and it doesn't really get talked about much. But what separates Ana from Batiste, even though Batiste is better, is that Ana takes counterplay, right? Batiste uses an E, which can deploy immortality, but there isn't much skill involved in that. However, Ana to actually shut down a big ult like Sigma Flux, Genji Blade, or something like that, it requires a lot of high level skill and actually landing those sleeps, right? So I do feel like if you really want to play a fun hero just in general, they have to have counterplay. You can even think about this in general. Moira, one of the most boring supports in the game, has 0 counterplay to her kit. Whenever she gets dived, she just fades away, right? And even with Zen, right? Like Zen has more counterplay than others, but like a lot of supports that were released after Ana, they take very little counterplay, which kind of separates Ana from a lot of the supports currently in the game.
Yeah,
Totally.
I think she's high risk, high reward, which is something that not a lot of these Overwatch characters have anymore. These characters come out of the gate with these really busted ass kits, several CCs, several ways to, like Sigma, several ways to eat
Jesus.
ultimates, several ways to counter ultimates, has several CCs, has an E, has a shield.
Totally.
But Ana as a character, you can get, like what Grape was saying, you can get counterplayed a lot, and it's very high risk and there's high reward. So
I don't want to kind of change subject here, but I do believe like Sigma Accretion is probably one of the best abilities in the game. It's one of the highest skill ceilings abilities in the game, probably up there with Sleep Dart. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Pigeon. Like Sigma is an all-around tank. He can shield, he can eat, he can stun, which is something I don't believe any tank should have. But he definitely does have a good character design. It just takes a little bit more balancing issues, right? I think it would have been better if Sigma didn't have an eat ability, because when as soon as you add that to him, he can also peel for his team along with a shield. So yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Pigeon.
I'm with that.
and the character's completely busted out of the gate.
Yeah.
There's some, like, if you look at scrims, like you could just see, or if you look at VODs, it's like you're resetting your Sig shield down. What Sig does is he goes up, he eats, and then they peel back, and all the shields are recharged. So you just rinse and repeat. It's really.
But I feel like just like Hog, Sigma requires the Rista to be viable, right? A lot of people think Ryan Sigma is viable, and it can be in some situations. But if you ask pretty much any Owl Pro or any like high level ladder player, Ryan Zarya is better than Ryan Sigma in most situations. Because as soon as you can speed past those shields, because six shield it can be deployed right away. As soon as Zarya can get past those shields with Ryan, it makes it very hard for Sigma to stop that because Sigma is a poke tank, right? He needs a wrist with him so he can combo with pulls and also slow the enemy down. As soon as you got a Reinhardt, which is kind of like two counter opposites to each other, it makes it very difficult. So yeah, that's just my take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, close range Sigma is ass. Like if you're running full brawl, you could just speed in and then just absolutely demolish a Sig. So like, as long as brawl isn't meta, Sigma's probably gonna be meta just because stupid or like insane character design. It's way too much power.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to talk about this yet, but even with the recent experimental changes, right? Even though Sigma is getting nerfed, it's kind of like a Brigida nerf, like one of the 18 Brigidas or something. This is gonna stop Sig from getting his ult fast. It's gonna stop Sig from peeling as much, but it doesn't take away his level of kit, right? Like you can nerf Brig as much as you want, but she can still have Inspire. She can still shut down a Winston. She can still whiplash people that are diving on her. Just like Sigma, he can still sustain his team as much as he wants. Just takes a bit more skill and a bit more coordination.
Yep, I'm with that. Alright, let's see. So moving on from that topic.
Next question?
Yeah, Ben, you wanna hop on the next question?
Yeah. So Pigeon,
What's up?
tell us about your investments into Roth IRA.
I've invested into several Roth IRA companies. Just the need to be financially safe in the future and to have a leg up over damn, I don't want to say that. It's very racist. But the need to get over, let's just say, people that aren't as financially adequate in the American economics is very important for me. It's one of my fears to be publicly shamed about that. So I've invested in several Roth IRA companies. And I think that everyone should invest in Roth IRA. You kind of need to have that financial security. If not, you're just going to come out the end like a poor chump. Where's like your retirement money, old man? And they're gonna make fun of you for being crazy and old, and having Alzheimer's and forgetting everything and forgetting your pills. Yeah, but invest in Roth IRA. Very important topic.
Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Pigeon.
No problem, man.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to another subject. What is a major flaw that you see within each of the community leagues or community leagues as a whole?
I can give you a lot. So Flux Cup, and it boils down to this: a lot of community leagues have already been on the ground fundamentally damaged from other leagues, and then at the top of that, you have the most incompetent of staff. Now, I can go on a rant about this forever, but you cannot tell me that it took you 6 hours to ban a 14-year-old kid for locking on the base of a turret, and that's your aim lock excuse because of net loss and net gain. Like how the fuck does that work? How dumb of a person do you have to be to spend 6 hours VOD reviewing and then saying, "Yep, this kid's hacking"? There's no other explanation. And then it takes 3 hours for some old man with a wife to come in and show you what internet really means, and you're like, "Oh, never mind." I think that's a big issue, right? And then at the get-go, that's one of the big issues, right? And then the other issue is that the community of and of itself it's almost like factionism. If you know anything about American history, one of the Federalist Papers, I believe it was Federalist 10, stated that factionism will be the death of America, right? If we remain factions, we're not going to unite and do anything. We're not a fucking no community league is a community league. Like I don't know if anyone can grasp that through their head. It's these little groups, these little factions, and then these little factions have their own little inner works and connections. And sure, we all connect through loosely written webs of connections. But at the end of the day, none of us are really a community. You can literally look at any general chat, and that'll just prove my point. Absolute AIDS, absolute cancer to look at. Almost like having a fucking epilepsy attack when you look at the amount of dumb fucking comments from dumb-witted people. But that's just it. It's just an issue on both sides, and nobody really understands that. Everyone wants to blame one side, and everyone wants to blame the other one, and people just like it like this. And I don't know. I think at some point, community leagues are gonna. It's dampening in this like.
No, there's not going to be the same level of maturity and same level of professionalism that leagues like TESPAB or like all these other college community leagues, right? Because people will always find ways to cheat the system and always find loopholes. And that's one of my biggest problems with League Zero, Toker, Flux Cup, is because Flux Cup actually did a pretty good job with this. I will give them a heads up on. But you're going to expect people to play with friends, and as soon as you have that in place, it just removes the competitive integrity and the fun of a league. The reason I loved Season 1 of League Zero, even though it was super scuffed, was because I got to play with a bunch of brand new people that I did not know. Season 2 of League Zero was the complete opposite. Yeah. You had people like Pepega Parrots, Josh, I want to call you out on this, but you literally pretty much prefix a team ahead of time. Same with Wait What. Same with a lot of other teams who already have people in mind. And that takes away the fun. Because the reason I signed up for these leagues is to have a good, fun experience. I can even bring this up with Stewie, Season 1. I barely knew Stewie before this. And even after my short time in League Zero, me and Stewie have remained friends for almost a year and a half. That is what these leagues are about. Building friendships that can actually last for so long. And unfortunately, there's always going to be these people that just want to ruin the fun for everyone. And it's not like something staff can fix. This is one of the mistakes that nobody in this community staff or nobody can even fix. It's all up to the people a part of the community to fix. And that's one of my biggest downsides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what you kind of said there with League Zero Season 1 is like really true. Because in like, if we want to look at Pepega Parrots, right, and essentially what most of these teams did was that a lot of these teams were like brandly new drafted. Not really anyone knew each other. But then if we start looking now, they're kind of preset and pre-draft, and like if you sign up, people are gonna PM you, and essentially the whole thing is like it's like a whole, like every team has kind of converted into Season 1 double cap. If you guys remember the whole rock size of thing, where most people get like messages ahead of time, and most people's are like, well, no point in showing up in anything, no point in doing this or doing that. I did that shit too back in when I was going for League Zero Season 2, but I dropped out of draft like the day before. But it's like, it's because you want to play with your friends. You don't want to play with some fucking newbie ass team. But what Grape was saying, it's a shit that the community has to fix, and it's a shit that is an underlying issue of the community. Just, it's these people that want to play with their friends or want to play with people they know, and then at the end of the day, we get pre-stacked teams. We get teams that throw. We have essentially like teams like that are really good because everyone knows each other and everyone kind of plays with each other and everything's there, like the Requiems and stuff like that. Let's say if like Requiem entered a league and they started drafting based off that. And then you have teams like Functional that know each other and they draft like that. And then it just creates this very imbalances of the leagues.
And well, as you said, Pigeon, and this is what is a big factor why I'm not participating in League Zero Season 3, is because, forget about the time restraints, forget about all that. I know there's going to be a super team that's already pre-drafted, that's already going to beat the system. I already know there's going to be some teams who have had previous energy, and when a brand new team is built, they're not going to be able to compete. Look at Bob Burgers, for example. They built pretty much a brand new team, little to no synergy. They had two people, Slop and Kai, I'm pretty sure. And they don't have the best synergy to begin with. And look how they performed in League Zero. And this is something that's sad, because I can guarantee you right now, Bobbers could have been a good team, right? But they could have been a good team if they just had the same fairness as any other team who was built drafting new people. But there's gonna be these teams who want to build overpowered stack teams with people at previous synergy, which just ruins the fun.
Mm-hmm. Completely. Yeah.
No offense to anyone else, because I was on that Bob Burgers, but even if they had been randomly made teams, that was an interesting roster, to say the least. I don't think we would have done super well even with it was.
I mean, just look at Seasons 1 of League Zero. Tell me first week of games if anyone was synergized. I can guarantee you it was literally only went down to mechanical skill.
For real, yeah. Yeah, I mean...
every team pretty much won for goats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, fucking... Like, Rio, we were not built for a goats team. At all, especially after we picked up like Chicken and stuff, and Apple, like we just kept running Ghost because like it's meta, but we don't know fucking how we play with each other.
Also, Ben, you bring up that like Boppers was a Yikes team. Well, the teams only had 1 week to prepare leading up to playoffs, right? and the leading up to the games because the meta just changed to Ryan Dio, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really use that as an excuse because teams weren't prepared. So it pretty much went down to pre-existing synergy that teams had, which gave the other teams an edge. If that would happen in League Zero Season 1,
No, I'm saying the players they actually drafted in general were not good. Even if the other teams didn't have prior synergy, they would have been better than Bot Burgers.
Yeah,
Fair.
that's true. But also, a different example other than Bot Burgers would be Powerhouse. I mean, the first 2 weeks, I coached that team. The first 2 weeks, they were literally dog shit. Cause like, I mean, no one really played with each other. The only people who did were Dad and Kev, and they're like the standouts. That's why they were good. So, I mean, they weren't doing good compared to other teams in the league.
Yeah, and most of the teams that were rated really high were kind of just people that people knew them. They played together. So like Pepega in the beginning was rated really high because you had a lot of these League Zero people that all came together, and everyone thought that this was like a super team that formed. Later, people would figure out that team would collapse internally. That's a whole different story. But it's kind of that whole thing where people are just picking up, and then these brand new teams with these brand new people. Of course, they're not going to know each other. Of course, they're going to play bad in the beginning. But when you have teams that have people like Jeff, Chicken, not Jeff, not in the beginning, but you had Chicken, you had Tanic, but you had all these people that played with together. Of course, it's going to be treated like that, and of course, the outcome in the beginning is going to be like that. But
Yep.
it's pretty much
move
it.
on then from that.
Yeah. Alright, so let's see. Ben, wanna take?
I think he didn't he kind of touch on this earlier?
What?
Or do we still want to say that one? The next one? No, whatever.
You.
So how does it be known as the king of business within these leagues? And actually, you've actually spoken to us about in your life is actually.
I'm known as being known as the king of business has its perks, right? And has its downfalls. So when you're considered the king of business, you have a shit ton of respect, right, by many people. Many people they treat you with all this respect, and they treat you with this power because money is power. So if you know how to manage money, or if you have the appearance that you know how to manage money, people think that you're already ahead of the game. But its downfalls is when people start actually questioning you about the economy. If you don't do your research, you're not going to know anything. But being the king of business, it's pretty easy because I know money, right? But if you don't know money and you're like a schlo or a chump that tries to enter at this stage, it's not going to work out.
Very well said, Pigeon. Very well said.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. So our last question, or one of our last questions. Let's see. Pigeon, why were you the best man?
Well, it's pretty simple, and I say this all the time. Because I'm the best.
Perfect. Wow. That was great.
Man. You forgot the rest of the thing. It's best man.
Oh yeah.
You cut me off there.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's kind of
I thought
mean.
I was the guest of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's very,
you know
very
what? That's my bad. That's you want to redo that? You want to? Nah, it's just.
No.
Okay.
Let's roll with that tape. You know.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. All right.
You invite royalty here, and this is how I'm treated. Okay. What are you laughing about? This is not anything to joke about. You see, Grape is nodding his head.
No, I just saw a meme. You know?
Yeah.
Totally different.
Sure.
Different subject. Different subject. All right. So, moving on to questions for everyone to answer. The setup for this I'll answer, or I'll tell the question to everyone. We'll answer it. Grape, Ben, me, Pigeon order. Okay, so the first one, okay, so boom, you are Jeff Kaplan, all right, and you can instantly change 2 things about Overwatch.
Okay.
What do you change right off the bat?
Grape can answer first.
Yeah, sorry, first, as Drew said. Sorry to cut you off there, Pigeon, but so you're asking that fundamentally or character design?
Anything. You can change 2 things. Anything.
Okay, so the first thing I would change is going back to Siegel's video that he made 2 years ago about Overwatch being too complicated and having all these things. I don't think it's a viable solution to remove all these abilities. I think Overwatch is too deep into this system of going to MMRs rather than FPS that you can just revert all these things. That just make the game regress. So I think you just have to pull that out of the picture. I know Siegel wants that, but the game is too deep, so you just have to get rid of that. I think what Overwatch should do is add some sort of Ryan steadfast. So Ryan, he has a 30% CC reduction, right? And some heroes heal themselves. I want Overwatch to somehow give a certain hero some sort of that ability to make them more viable, for example, right? Because right now there are some heroes that are just completely, utterly useless because of how Overwatch is designed, right? One big example of this, for example, is as soon as Overwatch removes the offense and defense category for damage, they try to balance so many heroes to fit both types of game modes, which makes it very complicated to balance. And there's going to be heroes that are niche picks, useless picks, or just must picks, for example. So what I would want Overwatch to do is give heroes a type of steadfast that Ryan has in their respective category. So I can't really think of anything on top of my head, right? But for Roadhog, for example, he's more of like a DPS style tank. Make his heal like how they did in the experimental a few months ago. Heal the people around him, for example. Do the damage reduction like that. That's gonna make him more viable and actually probably make the game better. At the end of the day, it is very difficult to balance all these people based on abilities alone. But if you give them some sort of fundamental that can make them more viable, that is good for the game altogether. The only problem with that, the only downside to that is probably a power creep thing. But I think that's the direction Overwatch should move in if they want to make the game more balanced, friendly, and not friendly, more fun. And probably the second thing I would fix is, I just probably not something I would fix, but something I really regret is Overwatch lean towards the 2-2 side. I feel like something that made Overwatch really different and fun is kind of like the things that what is it? The freedom you could choose, the freedom that you had picking heroes and all of that, because you shouldn't have to force 2-2. The meta should just move around 2-2. And something that I really wish Overwatch would do is it's something I just really regret them doing this is implementing 2-2. So yeah, but those are probably the two things I would fix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think before I go on my thing, I feel like it's weird because and I agree with Graper, the meta has to move around 2-2, but this is one of my biggest fears. What if we go back to no 2-2? And what if Sigma was introduced, right? Would just the meta be triple shield at that point? And it would probably worse than double shield.
No, but I think you guys understand Blizzard's standpoint, right? It's not like they make these heroes. They have tons of heroes planned in advance. They have probably 10, 20 heroes planned in advance that they just haven't released yet, right? I'm pretty sure that. So I even told Stewie this a few months back. The reason they introduced Sigma was because if they didn't bring Sigma in as a tank, D.Va might have been meta again. And as you look at, I'm saying this because D.Va would counter Orisa Hog. Look at the previous 3 metas that we had. We had Omnic, we had a Bastion meta, we had a Dive meta, and we had Ghost. All 3 had D.Va in it. Even go back more in time. We have World of Tanks. We have there's very few metas in Overwatch that did not consist of D.Va. Yep. Overwatch, I'm telling you this right now, Jeff Clapton won in a meta without D.Va, and that's why they introduced Sigma. And although he was overpowered at first, I'm pretty sure their end goal was met by getting rid of D.Va altogether.
Well, I don't think they want to get rid of D.Va altogether. What do you mean? Get rid of her from
No, but when Sigma first came out, I think the reason they implemented it was because they didn't want D.Va to be played anymore.
Okay.
And they accomplished the goal. I think the goal that they were aiming for was accomplished. It's just that unfortunately, Orisa City became the new GOATs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For me, it's really hard because that's a big thing, right? And I feel like one of the things that I really like the map designs a lot in this game because the maps, you could play different positions and you could go around different flanks. Like Numbani, there's 4 different ways, but I feel 4 different ways to enter, but I feel like there's some characters, for example, now this is an old topic, right? But I feel like Mei fundamentally is a busted character, right? Fundamentally. She's not meta anymore, right? She's not meta anymore. But when she was just fucking super oppressive. And I think that's a big issue with Overwatch, where the characters that are in meta are incredibly oppressive. And the game is so CC focused. Let's look at what is meta now, right? Right? Where it's Orisa, Sigma, that alone, Halt, Gold, fucking Rock, E. And then you have fucking Brig. Brig is a fucking cavalcade of CC with her fucking bash, with their fucking whip shot. And then you have characters like Ashe, which has the coach gun to push people away. And you have stuff like that. And then you have BAP, which BAP's immortality field is fucking, pardon my words, retarded. Absolutely retarded.
Yeah. For real.
And I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of the meta is oppressive, right? The one character I did not touch on is the one character I felt like was fine, right? He was a little bit busted, right? But I think Genji was kind of in a good state, in a sense, right? That's just my opinion, right? I thought he was in a good sense. Because in the meta, you could counter him very easily. But again, the reason you can counter him very easily is because of these oppressive kits. So I think they need to work around characters to not be as oppressive. And I think Grape's idea is really good. Having, and this is not to solve my issue, but I think having characters that have all these like type of steadfast type abilities maybe can remove that oppressive type thing. Maybe Sigma won't be as an oppressive character with his E, with his rock, if they had, different types of those types of passive abilities. And maybe not as broken as like Bastion's Ironclad in Season 5, where he had like a permanent 30% damage reduction. Or maybe not as broke, or maybe not as useless as Junkrat's infamous death bombs, where you could eat them with Diva and Sigma. But I think definitely moving into that direction and making Overwatch not that oppressive can make it more fun. Because in my opinion, it's just CC watch.
Yeah, definitely. And I know this kind of sorry to cut you off there, Stewie, but going on a little bit of different topic. I feel like one thing like one rework I want to see from Overwatch and Overwatch 2 is Batiste, because I feel like immortality is just too strong. I feel like being able to save your team, even though it's for a few extra seconds, is something that should not be allowed in the game. And I feel like one way they can probably fix it is, instead of making immortality field save lives, make it a cleanse ability. I feel like having a 6-man cleanse ability, like there's very few abilities that require cleansing, but like Ononate, for example, has the ability to like be like a game-winning ability, for example, right? So having that counterplay with a cleanse ability, for example, could add something to Bap's kit instead of having immortality field, which is a brain dead ability that should not be in the game.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think let's see, back to the question, the two things we'd like to change. I think for one, I would just I would remove like the past, let's see, I would remove all the heroes up to like Brig, or up to like before Brig, right? Because like, or all the other characters they released, because Sig is broken, Bap is broken, Brig is just not fun to play against. Other ones like Ball.
But that's not possible, though. That's not even possible.
What do you mean?
Like, you can't really like. Are you? Is this something that you wish to happen, or like something that you want to happen?
I would want that to happen.
But like, don't you think that's like, kind of like? I don't think any game would actually remove a hero, for example.
Yeah. But
Just
I
because
would.
I would. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see where you're going.
Yeah. So it's like, I would like, without a second thought, remove fucking Bap and Sig, and probably Brig, because I think the best time in Overwatch, even though I love Ghosts, I think the best time in Overwatch was right before Brig was released, because on like probably on 50 or on probably like 60-70% of maps you would run dive, right? And there were variants of that, double sniper dive, stuff like that. But then, you would play Kings and you would have Rhine comps, right? The comp depended on the map, and it didn't depend on what was broken. And that's what I really loved about Overwatch, was like, I would queue with my friends and I would say like, and it would be like, oh, it's Numbani, let's run combat comp or whatever.
Dude, that was such a legendary time.
Yeah.
We're like,
Yeah.
all right.
Exactly.
I agree with this dude there a lot.
Mhm.
I mean, I talked to you about this a few weeks ago, right? But leading up to Brig, Overwatch tried so hard to get rid of dive. As much as they possibly could.
Mhm.
They released Doomfist, who's an anti-dive hero. They released Onyx trying to stop it, but Onyx made it stronger, of course, at the time. Yeah. And Overwatch, you see all these things because Overwatch, it just feels like Overwatch doesn't want dive to come back. It just seemed like that. And unfortunately, like, dive was probably the last good meta when you think about it. It took the most amount of skill, took the most amount of coordination, took the most amount of teamwork to run. And unfortunately, like, all these CC heroes that were released made the game worse. And like I was going to Stewie, like, I remember whenever I would come on to, like, whenever I like queue into a King's Row game, for example, I'll be like, oh, this is Ryan Zarya, right? But now it's like if the other team is running Arista Sig, I'm gonna have to run Arista Sig at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Especially in like high GM games, which is given to a lot. It's like I'm throwing on Ryan practically, right?
Mhm.
Because for like Arista Sig isn't really good in plat because it takes coordination to run, but the high levels, one Arista pull with a rock, like how Pigeon was bringing up, it just shuts down the Ryan comp.
Yeah.
I think also just what Grib was saying was like with all the CC that was added, it kind of made Overwatch a slower game, right? With Dive, the meta game was really fast, but now really what Overwatch is kind of a waiting game, right? You have to wait till the enemy team makes a mistake, or you have to wait till you find an opening. In most cases, that's not with a very flashy Widow pick or a good Tracer play or a good Monkey Diva coordinated dive or a good Discord orb or anything like that. Not like in Dive, right? Where it's a lot of mechanical and teamwork.
Totally.
It's kind of just like, welp, I rock the BAP out of his immortality lamp. I'm going to shoot him twice. Now he's dead. We push in. And that's how most of OWL is. I think it's very slow and in many cases very unenjoyable to watch and play.
Yeah.
So
That's why I stopped watching OWL in like last season.
As soon as
because,
goats became a thing, it was we actually had a watch party. Me and Stewie. We came to his house and we watched the first game. And we're like, maybe we'll be goats. Maybe we'll have like a map where they show us a new cool comp. And no,
It was just all
it was
goats.
exclusively goats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucked because like it showed like how not unfun because I liked playing goats, but like how unwatchable the game was becoming for me, right? I just got off watching season 1 Overwatch League with Saya player getting 5Ks on Widow and fucking like Sebiobi clutching up against Boston Uprising. I'm getting fucking like goosebumps just thinking about it. And now we have
And now blowing up a grab in
this,
45 seconds is an accomplishment.
yeah, it's like nowadays it's just I'll watch the game here and there.
Yeah,
It's
but
not,
I mean,
it's not as watchable.
Like go back to 20. I was watching a highlight clip from 2018, right? And you just watch how fast these DPS heroes were. Like Sombra EMP was so fast. It was like Tracer was so fast. Genji was so fast. Nobody ever want to run a slow DPS because there's nothing that could slow the game down.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why Brig was released. Because I'm telling you right now, Brig is out of the game right now. If Man Reaper didn't get those buffs and Brig didn't get those buffs and Brig wasn't released, Dive would still be meta because fast pace movement is still it's probably going to be number one.
Totally. Yep.
It's so much fun compared to what's now. I don't understand why they wanted to get rid of dive.
Because it was meta for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but was anybody really complaining about that? Because there was still variation
No,
between maps more than there is now.
I know I'm saying this a lot, but I was talking about street that's like 3-4 days ago. Like Dive was only running Overwatch League pretty much. Only run at the highest level. Because Dive takes teamwork, coordination, pre-fight planning, ult tracking, and all these things. It's just easier to run some sort of other variant of Dive or a Brawl comp, which takes a lot less coordination to run.
Yeah. Yeah, Overwatch, I think a big mistake in Overwatch overall, I don't see how they can fix it. Or like if there's any way they could have fixed it in the past, but like the way that the top 0.001% is playing something like totally different than the bottom 99%, it just makes the game like a whole lot or like Overwatch League isn't as watchable, and it's like it's not really as fun. It's not as entertaining or whatever.
Yeah, and some people will probably say like Stewie's saying what he said was only pros play goats. That's not true. Literally, if you just had a brain dead Brig player on your team with some sort of Brawl variant, your team was gonna win.
Yeah.
It's like goats needed to be nerfed because the only people that didn't run it were in low plat, and goats doesn't take when goats first came out. It took 0 skill. It actually took 0 skill. It was the most brain dead comp ever. Brig did so much healing, Lucio did so much things, and also when you had Moira, it made it unstoppable for anything to happen. Like
there was a point in time where Owen and I would go into open queue. I would be on. I would just lock the Brig, and he would lock the Czar, and we'd scream at our comp teammates to lock goats, or we'd throw, and we won 6 in a row because of that. It was so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was broken. Yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So last question here. What are you guys' hopes for Overwatch 2?
Well,
am I starting this off or is Pigeon?
Actually, you can start this off, Graham.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been asking for this for so long. I want at least 8 characters to get reworked. And the reason I'm saying that is because I want Overwatch to be fresh. Remember when I first got this game?
Mhm.
The fact that like as soon as I learned like 2-3 heroes, the fact that I could learn another hero and it was so new to me was so much fun, right? But now that I've kind of gone through every single hero, like even though I haven't gotten skill on them, a lot of it's just boring now. Like one thing I really want to see is like some of the tanks get reworked, some of the DPS, and like one example of this could be like Winston, for example, where instead of having a bubble on an ability cooldown, have it on a recharge basis. So when he deploys it, he has to re-pick it up and have it recharge again.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be so cool to see. Because sometimes Winston's might not actually use it at the full charge, right? Just like a Rhine Shield, for example. It's gonna take a lot more skill. And something I also want to see is having unstackable shields. I know someone on the workshop made something like this, where if you have two shields very close to each other, they just become a little bit of a bigger shield with the same amount of health. That will destroy the double shield meta, because not only can you stack shields anymore, but it's going to be way easier to kill. It's going to become more like a Rhine shield, which will make the game more fun. So something I really want to see is stackable shields and unstackable shields and reworks of heroes.
Yep, totally. Ben, you wanna answer?
Sir? Yeah. I kind of agree with Grape. I want to see more reworks. I feel like any change at this point is like almost good change, because I just want something to change. Actually enjoy playing double bubble because it's actually something different than double shield for once.
But then
And-
you look at sorry, cut you off there, Ben. But you look at the new
Yeah.
Owl hero pools. They literally get rid of Zarya and Genji and Tracer. I'm like, bro, why?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
I think hero pools are just a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Period.
I think
It makes it like the whole point of hero pools was to kind of make the meta fresh in a sense. But when new metas are introduced, they're gonna get rotated out, and what that makes it is more stress on like the pros and stuff like that. And they're gonna run these weird stuff. And I mean, the upsets are cool and all, but there's not like at all a consistency. There's not an understanding. I think games kind of need metas
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, and like I don't know. I think as like what had to go through like League Zero and stuff like that, and even OD, like hero pools for me, like playing and managing and coaching and stuff like that was an absolute stress nightmare because you didn't know what we were gonna run. You know, maybe 1 week we practice dive and we practice dive for like 3 days and we're completely lost on how to do it, or the next week is brawl and stuff like that. I think hero pools are a really bad idea. Just
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, totally.
But
Oh, here.
if
continue.
I could just add on my final
Yeah,
comment real
totally.
quick, I like 100% agree with Grape. I think we just really need to do a lot of these reworks and make the characters fresh and make the characters different. For example, in my opinion, I think Sigma is like a combination of 3 tank characters.
Mhm.
Has Diva's Ant Matrix, you have a CC, which like let's be honest, you're like 15 characters have a CC. And then you have a shield, which the shield reminds me of like Orisa's shield, right? But with more of Ryan's dimensions and stuff like that. Like maybe make it to a sense where each character, as specifically the tanks, in my opinion, even the supports, but I think the supports have a better job at this of making it where the characters don't really over like lap in many positions. Like the shield tanks, I understand having a shield tank and an off tank, right? But like making it more unique that Diva has like this ant matrix, right? Not have a character like Sigma, which in my opinion is like this fucking like like kind of blended character of 3 different characters. And maybe, you know, for me, like maybe rework Roadhog. You know, maybe make him more dynamic as a tank. Maybe make him more tank-like. Or maybe just flat out making him a DPS character, right?
Yeah,
He's his
That's
only role.
confirmed, isn't it?
Yeah, someone came out today pitching. It was actually there was a leak, and I can't really back it up with any proof, but there was a leak that came out that Roadhog's going to become a DPS and May and Breaker are going to become tanks.
Good.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Well, I'm gonna go swap to DPS.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
And honestly, like the thing about Overwatch, kind of like reusing character designs. I saw something really interesting when like Hanzo was getting his rework. Is people really comparing him to McCree, and they're very, very, very similar at this point.
Yeah.
Like just has higher one-shot potential, but while Kree has more like consistent damage, and they're like, well, now he has Kree's role as in Leap. He has the fan the hammer, which is Storm Arrow. The only unique thing he has is wall climb and Sonic Arrow.
And wall climb isn't even unique. Genji has it too.
Yeah, Genji has it.
Yeah, but I think that's
So-
fine because they're brothers. I think that's
Yeah, I know,
No,
it-
that's
no,
that's no, that,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
like
fine.
that's cool, but I like what Ben says there. I think
I mean, it's fine, but it's like it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to make. I can
It's
understand
rough.
it being really hard to make new, completely unoverlapping characters.
Yeah, I think Overwatch messed up by like adding too many new heroes too fast because I mean the more time that's passed, the more the more heroes they release, the more busted they're getting. And I think one thing with Overwatch 2 that Blizzard has totally like misread from the community is they're adding like aren't they adding like 3 new heroes?
Yeah.
I think that is totally the wrong direction they should be doing.
I think that's a good idea.
No,
To be honest, I think that's a good idea. I'm
because
gonna be
no,
I
because
think
I don't
it's a good idea.
think like besides Ana,
Nobody's gonna know what the meta is when the game first comes out, which I think is
yeah, and then afterwards it's just gonna be cancer. Like after Ana, not one like hero release made the game better. Like
I think there were like who were the heroes that came after Ana? There was Sombra.
Sombra, Orisa, and then I think Doom came after that.
Yeah.
I think Ball.
Ball
Is
did
it-
not.
Ball did not. I don't think so.
I think Ball. I know a lot of people hate Ball, but I feel like if Ball came out before Brig, nobody would have played Ball. I think Ball as a tank isn't overpowered. He's actually probably one of the most balanced tanks. I know a lot of people complain about him not being able to get punished, but for his low lack of damage, unless he's at the highest skill, I think that's fine because he has like he's a main tank and an off tank at the same time, but he doesn't do too much damage, which I think is balanced.
I think Ball is that one Overwatch character where it reminds me a lot of Ana because, like I was previously saying, Ana is this high risk, high reward character. But while Ball might not be in many cases high risk, high reward, he does have that level of a high skill ceiling, right, and a high skill floor. Because anyone can pick up Ball and throw their fucking body around and maybe get a couple ult charge and throw their mines. But the real Ball players, like the good ones, like Yeetle and some of the pros and some of even like the Masters one, I gotta give my man Grape some props because he's fucking plays Ball, in my opinion, to a level I can't understand. But it's like Ball, you need to really understand the character to play in, right? It's not like Brig where you can be literally at a 3rd grade rating level, pick her up and get GM with her. Ball's that one character you need to know how to play him, need to know the tech, the positioning, when to go.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
that's
also,
Ball's
like,
like one of the editions.
Something I want to add to that pitch is like Ball came out a year and a half ago, probably. I might be mistaken on that, and it took people almost a year to understand some of his tech. Like there's still so many possibilities that Ball is that like the mechanical skill in Ball is still growing to this day. Like when Ball first came out, you think people could wall jump, you think people could 180 rebound, you think people could double boot. Like Ball had to get nerfed by one man because he was able to quadruple boot consistently to the point where it became overpowered. One man literally had to force his game to get a rework, and that is something I love because Overwatch won't balance heroes that are broken by the whole community, but they'll balance a hero which is getting abused by one person, and that was Ball Overwatch, which is insane to think about.
Yeah, I really like the scenarios where like one person changes a hero, like the Jonak nerf in the season 1 of Owl and the Ball nerf was like those were the only. I'm pretty sure those are like the only 2, and it's
Yeah.
just it's really funny to watch.
Ball,
It shows how
Ball
dominant
Overwatch,
people can be on heroes, and it's really cool.
that was so cool about it because when Overwatch like in 2018, 2017, I would always search up like best Roadhog, best these players, and these people would like play these heroes at an exceptionally different level than what most people think they would be. And like Ball is no example. Like seeing Ball Overwatch play, he just breaks the boundaries of that hero, right? Seeing Six play Hog, he just
Yeah,
breaks the
Six
boundaries
is
of this hero.
insane.
Yeah.
He's a really
Like,
good Stig too.
It's unfortunate that Owl doesn't like one tricks, but like seeing these people play like amazing on these heroes is insane.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
All right.
Sorry, guys. Coming down with something.
Alright.
I'm not joking.
You doing good there, Pigeon? You doing?
This is not a joke.
You need
I
some
keep
water?
on coughing.
You need some tea or something?
No, I'm good, man.
Oh, okay. Let me know. I'll ship some over.
Yeah, sure, man. Fucking
Cross country.
British.
Yeah.
Are
What?
you British?
Oi, bruv.
Oi, bruv.
Oi, bruv.
Ain't it?
Oi.
Crumpets.
It's Tuesday.
Appease, man.
All right. I think that's gonna be it for the second Smiler sit down. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thanks for our guests, Grape and Pigeon, for showing up. It was a blast.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
No, we're doing goodbyes. We're doing goodbyes.
Oh. See you guys. What's up?
Alright, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
See you guys.
I wanna be your man, your lover and your friend. I'm gonna love you true. I wanna be the one you come home to. It was Friday night, the moon was bright and the band was tight and